So hello and welcome. I'm Debbie Bouchard, and I am the director of the Aquaculture Research Institute at the University of Maine. And ARI is happy to join with our longtime collaborators to celebrate Maine aquaculture innovation and education. In doing that, I will take a moment to acknowledge that we are located in the homeland of the Wabanaki tribal nations, and specifically the Penobscot Nation, who are the original and ongoing stewards of the land and water surrounding the Penobscot River. When we talk about fisheries and aquaculture in Maine, we should be thinking in the context of a long-standing history of traditional Wabanaki knowledge and resource use in the rivers and the coast and their surrounding species and ecosystems. We recognize that the Penobscot Nation and other Wabanaki tribal nations are distinct, sovereign, legal, and political entities with their own powers of self-governance and self-determination. But land acknowledgement is just a first step in engaging indigenous communities. We should also seek to learn from traditional fisheries knowledge so we can fully inform and engage all Mainers in natural resource use going forward. Now we would like to introduce the president of the University of Maine, Dr. Joan Ferrini-Mundy. Joan has been an advocate for aquaculture fisheries since her arrival at UMaine. Her efforts on the Maine Science and Technology Plan and in supporting aquaculture workforce development have made UMaine and the state a leader in aquaculture development. Please welcome Dr. Ferrini-Mundy.
Thank you so much, Deb. And I could not be more delighted than to be here welcoming everyone to this extremely exciting event. I've looked at the program. I've looked at the range of sectors of individuals who are represented here. I can't help but imagine it'll be a fantastic day for all of you. This is the 5th annual Maine Aquaculture Research, Development, and Education Summit. And as I said, partners from across the many aquaculture sectors in Maine and beyond are here to share their expertise as researchers, growers, industry providers, educators, and more. It's an opportunity to exchange knowledge, as you've already been doing, as I could see in the lobby as I came in, to exchange knowledge, to discuss new opportunities, to talk about interdisciplinarity and how we can cross sectors to all bring together the components of the partnerships that are so important at an event like this. I want to be very clear that the University of Maine is committed to aquaculture innovation, workforce development, industry engagement, and research. It's part of what it means to be a land, sea, and space grant university, and we're very proud to be that here in the state of Maine. Science and technology that comes from R&D helps to create new commercial opportunities, helps to sustain the industries it supports, and we believe that Maine leads the nation in aquaculture R&D. So as a result, our state is strongly committed and strongly positioned to grow these sectors within economic, social, educational, and environmental systems. At the flagship university, innovation, interdisciplinary aquaculture work and research benefits Maine and beyond, and it's led by our Aquaculture Research Institute, Maine Sea Grant, and UMaine Marine. And you'll meet people from all of those areas here today. UMaine faculty and affiliates received over $2.9 million in fiscal '22 from 3 NOAA grant programs, Sea Grant, Saltonstall Kennedy, and the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission. So we are very grateful to our funders to enable the work going forward. Today, UMaine's poised to have 5 dedicated aquaculture facilities across the state. At the Darling Marine Center in Walpole, the Aquatic Animal Health Lab in Orono, the Center for Cooperative Aquaculture Research in Franklin, the UMaine Machias Field Station at the Down East Institute, and the new Sustainable Aquaculture Workforce and Innovation Center, SAWIC, in Orono. Somebody came to me yesterday talking about SAWIC, and I said, it's so new, you need to keep reminding me what that stands for. So we see growth, we see expansion, and we see at the core of all of it collaboration, interdisciplinarity, hearing from everybody about what's needed to advance this industry in the state of Maine. These facilities advance research and development that's related to aquaculture and marine fishery industries in Maine and worldwide. In addition to their business incubation and diagnostic services, we have $3.5 million in federal funding made possible by Senators Collins and King. Tremendous leadership from our delegation, and we have representatives here. At least I see Carol, representative from Senator Collins' office. Just incredible support from our delegation. Which will bring long-needed seawater supply infrastructure improvements to Maine Center for Cooperative Aquaculture Research and the co-located USDA-ARS National Cold Water Marine Aquaculture Center, and that will help spur additional economic development and innovation. And from the perspective of the university, this is central to what we do. At UMaine, we are a small enough land grant, sea grant, space grant university that we take great pride in how well we integrate our R&D activity, our engagement and partnership with the community, and our educational activity. So we have students who are getting the benefit of participating in all of these labs and all of these activities, and who then become the leaders going forward across the state and well beyond. We are in the planning stage, as I mentioned, of the new Sustainable Aquaculture Workforce and Innovation Center, SAWIC, made possible by funding from the Governor's Maine Jobs and Recovery Plan. I thank all in the Governor's office and staff and the legislature who've been so very, very helpful and supportive to the state and to the University of Maine particularly. This 15,000 square foot industry research and job training facility, again, the two come together for us always, the research and the education, will be an exciting hub to connect and support industry-driven research and innovation efforts, and it will serve as a demonstration system for job training in all types of recirculating aquaculture. It'll support paid internships and allow us to launch new industry-recognized credential programs. These newest aquaculture initiatives build on the strong base established by the industry, the researchers and growers, and the educators, many of whom are in this room with us today. I thank you for all that you do with us and that we will do together going forward. The investment in this high potential sector is an investment in Maine, and the state's research university welcomes the many and varied opportunities to work with all of you in shaping that future together. So I welcome you here to our facility, the University of Maine's Hutchinson Center in beautiful Belfast, Maine. And I know from looking at this program, I feel like this is, I'm sorry, I have to stand on my tiptoes. You will have a fantastic, and there are the demographics. See all the great variation in this group. You'll have a great day. It's a fantastic program. Make the most of it. Meet new people. Think about new collaborations, and certainly know that the University of Maine is willing and eager to be a partner with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ferrini-Mundy. I'm Chris Davis. I direct the Maine Aquaculture Innovation Center, and I want to welcome you all here today. And this is a good segue. Let's see here. Back in 2014, we held the first aquaculture R&D forum. At that point, we weren't. The education was added on a couple of times later, and the whole idea is to bring together the phenomenal research capacity that we have in Maine and the growing aquaculture industry, and get them talking more together, so that the research that's being done, whether it's in Orono or UNE or the Gulf of Maine Research Institute or Bigelow Lab, trying to get them providing relevant research to our industry. And by talking more and by having events like this, we hope that will inspire both the research is applied to what the needs are of the industry. And to that end, what our center has done for the last, since 2014, is to run an R&D priority survey, which we'll be getting to later today. And it helps to inform MAIC of where we should be putting our efforts in research. And we'll be talking more about that later. But today, before we go any farther, we have a lot of people to thank. These are our sponsors for the event. I'm not going to read them all, but you can see their logos. We couldn't do this without them. And as well as the University of Maine providing funds to bring Heather Jones here to Maine. And so we thank the university for that assistance as well. And so we also have some great vendors down the hall. For today, we're going to have our keynote, and then we'll have some updates, and then a break, and have lots of time for mingling and talking together.